Bonjour. Hello. Welcome back to Elden Ring. This is part 6 of our complete walkthrough of the game. Last time, we went through Rune-strewn Precipice, Caria Manor, and the Academy of Raya Lucaria. And this time, we are going to be going through the beginning of Ranni's quest and the two underground areas that we can do right now. So we are going to start off by heading up this elevator. Where at the top of this tower, we will be able to meet Ranni the Witch, a fan favorite NPC. Tell her no particular reason, then she will offer you the chance to serve her. Choose yes, and from there, she will tell you to meet her 3 companions down below. So from here, you can head down, and if you want to save some time, I like to roll forward and then roll back, and that just saves you from heading down. It means you only have to head back up. But for the sake of presentation, we'll do it the way you're supposed to. So first, here is E.G. He is the blacksmith we saw in the open world of Liurnia. Next up, here is Blythe. He helped us fight Darwell back in Limgrave. And there he mentions a well in the Mistwood. Here is the third and final companion, a new NPC by the name Seluvis. He mentions being in a tower nearby, and we will go do most of his quest. Actually, this part. But after talking to the 3 of them, you can head up and once again talk to Ranni. From there, we can head down, and the first thing we're going to do is actually head over to Seluvis. So, his tower is right here. If you like to pin things on the map to know where you're going, you can do that. But just head out of this tower and off to the right, headed southeast, and you should see his tower pretty quickly. Make your way safely down, and you can talk to him. He'll tell you that he was just being polite, but since you're here, he gives you a request. Accept it, and he will give you a potion. And while we're here, we can move along this outer ring of the tower. Here, there's a headpiece that you can pick up, though I'm going to be picking it up later. There's no reason to do that other than presentation, so you can feel free to pick it up now. But at the top of this tower is another memory stone. So we can grab that, and then we are going to head over to the Round Table Hold. Now, you can give that potion to Nefeli if you didn't already give her the Stormhawk King, or you can wait until later in the game to give it to the Dung Eater, but I'm going to be giving it to Gideon, as that is the best option in my opinion. So we give it to him, and now we can head over to the Mistwood outskirts side of Grace. Here on the upper right side of Limgrave. And we are just going to be headed towards the well in the Mistwood. You could do this at any point. I mean, you can access it immediately in Limgrave. So if that's something you want to do, you can. And doing so will actually allow you to skip basically all of the different catacombs if you're just going with a ghost spirit ash or no spirit ash at all. But it is here on the map, this little circular thing right next to the minor Erd tree in the Mistwood. Now, this is a very long elevator ride down. And that, mixed with how long Limgrave was, mixed with the fact that there isn't much to do down here outside of Blythe's quest. That's why I put this off until now. But you can do this immediately if you want to. So with that being said, once the elevator gets to the bottom, you'll get the pop-up for Siofra River, and you can grab the first set of grace. From there, you can get a Golden Rune 3, and in these underground areas, you mostly get Dew-Kissed Herba and Melted Mushroom as the main crafting ingredient. There, you get a Ghost Glowwort 1. As I said, you can come down here for Ghost 1, 2, and 3 if you want to skip the catacombs. But there's the first Melted Mushroom. And in this little structure here, you can get yourself a Smithing Stone 4, along with a few other slightly less notable items, like a Smithing Stone 2 and some Golden Runes. But beyond the structure is this set of stairs. If you go beyond them, then near these few Claymen enemies, there is another Smithing Stone 4. Now, I'm not going to be going through and getting every single item, beating every single enemy, killing every single boss. I'm just going to be getting what I consider to be notable, but I'm going to be getting what I consider to be notable for every type of build. So, with that being said, at the top of this elevator, we can hop back onto Torrent and continue moving forwards. Here, you can get another Ghost 1 if you didn't get the previous one, along with a Set of Grace. If you hop over here, right next to the Site of Grace, you can get a cookbook. And this cookbook allows you to craft preserving boluses. This is a consumable item that cures a scarlet rot. From there, starting at this site of grace, you can move east, slightly to the right, where you will very quickly be able to find a Ghost Glovewort 2, along with the map for the area. So this is what the map looks like. And from there, you can head straight east. You'll find this little side path that goes down. If you want, you can hop over here, and it will get you the horn bow, along with a golden rune 6. From there, you can continue heading up, and you'll find these 3 enemies here. You really want to kill them, as they will chase you. So, kill them, and then continue heading up and to the right, where up here you will find Blythe. If you don't kill those 3 enemies, they can and often will chase you up here, and can even hit Blythe. So, take care of them. Now, he mentions going and asking Seluvis for a lead, so we can put that on the back burner, and for now, we can head up this spirit spring. And here we can get a Ghost Glowwort 3, and that gets you a 1, 2, and 3 for the special spirit ashes. So if you're just going with those, you can mostly skip the catacombs up to this point. But with that being said, continuing on, you can get a stone sword key here, and then you can make your way back and down to where that spirit spring jump was. From there, you can just continue on, moving forward and to the right. You can follow the right path, or you can go straight north towards this fire. The straightforward way is a bit faster, as our next goal is this shack-looking structure. Inside of it are 2 smithing stone 3. And next to that is a ladder we can take up. There are 2 enemies here, so you may want to be careful of that, as they do pace back and forth. And sometimes while pacing, they can see you on the ladder, and that can lead to them getting aggressive while you're still climbing up. So be careful, take them out, and upon doing so, you will be able to safely drop down here onto this little side path. Following this side path down, you can take a drop here, and you'll find a merchant. He sells some stone sword keys, a larval tier to respec, a shotell, an okay basic curved sword, along with 2 cookbooks. The first lets you craft soap, mostly a meme item. I wish it got buffed, but it also allows you to get oil pots, which increases fire damage done to enemies. The second one just gets you a few crafting items, like crafting consumables. Not really worth it in my opinion. Dropping down, you can get a smithing stone 4, then you can hug the left wall, where you can get a ghost 2 and 2 gold pickled foul foots that you can pop after defeating a boss to increase the amount of runes you get. From there, you can head past the ladder and then take a left towards this large structure with 2 fires to get a Site of Grace if you want. It is here on the map if you like to pin things on the map. From there, we can continue heading north. Where we can get some smithing stone 2s. And in this little open area, there will be a scarab. Defeating them gets you the Ash of War wear off. This is usable on straight swords, and is surprisingly decent for how basic it is. But from there, we can continue making our way up. Now this area does have 8 obelisk things that you can interact with to light a fire. Lighting all 8 unlocks a boss there, but the boss just gets you a spirit ash that's not that good in my opinion, so we're not going to be doing that. But next to that final obelisk, you can head across this bridge here on the map if you like to pin things. And you can head across the bridge, and you can continue heading forwards where you'll see this waterfall, and we are going to head behind that, where we can get ourselves a rune arc. From there, we can turn around and head back the way we came. A few more jumps up, and we can get ourselves a golden seed. From there, there's this little bridge type thing, and there's a few tight corners, but if you can brave your way through it, you can get a stone sword key. That's all that's here, so we can once again cross the bridge and then take a left to continue heading generally north. Now there are 2 enemies here that have bows and very powerful sniper shots, so you can kill them or hide behind this rock or just tank the shots. However you deal with it, as long as you don't die, it works. Just beyond them, there is a Site of Grace, so you can grab that if you want. And then up here and to the left, there is another Ghost 3. From there, you can head up these stairs, where you can get the Clarifying Horn Charm. This is a talisman that boosts your resistance to sleep and madness. From there, if you want, you can spend 2 stone sword keys on this elevator, And this, thankfully, isn't nearly as long of a ride as the first elevator. Here we can pin Siofra River bank, as we can go back to Blythe soon-ish to get more dialogue. It's not required, but it just gets you more dialogue, and it's Blythe, so yeah. But at the top of this elevator, we can make it to Caelid, where we will get this set of grace. And if you've been following along, I mean, here, this path just lets you get up to here, where you can fight 3 invaders, and if you can successfully defeat all 3, you get the highest form of the Arsenal Charm. Though, the invaders are kind of strong. Certainly difficult for this early on. But if you've been following along, you can get another flask charge. Then you can turn south. Heading this way, there is a giant bear, but we're just going to ignore them, running past, grabbing this stone sword key, and dropping down, where we can get a Somber Stone 5. From there, we are just going to run out and to this open section with the giant scarab, where we will then be waiting for a few seconds just to de-aggro the enemies. Once the enemies are de-aggroed, you can open the map, and then you can teleport back to Ranni's Rise. Because, as you may remember, Blythe said something about seeing Seluvis. So, we are going to head down to him. So, before we do that, there are these ruins here. We want to head to the leftmost part of the structure. So, head out of the tower and head northeast, and it will be the first thing you run into. There will be an illusory floor that you can break, and then you can head on in. Here, there will be a sign saying Seluvis's puppet, do not touch, along with an illusory wall. So, see those things, and then you can head over to Seluvis. There will be a dragon here. Just ignore them, they won't follow you. Once you talk to him, if you already gave him the potion, then you will get all of these options. So from him you can purchase a few sorceries, mostly dealing with frost-based stuff. You can ask him about Nefeli, get more dialogue. You can ask about Nokron in order to gain an item. Seluvis's introduction. And you can ask about his chambers. From here, you can either get Theralina or Jarwhite for free. Although Theralina takes 2 Starlight Shards, Jarwhite takes 3, so because we can get the first one for free, we will take Jarwhite because they're more expensive once you have to pay for them. From here, we will be headed to Waypoint Ruins Cellar, so we can show Seluvis's introduction to Selen to continue that quest. Once you do that, you will be able to that unlocks the Radahn Festival, allowing you to fight Radahn. So that's in Caelid, which is an entire region like a Limgrave and Raya, or Liurnia of the Lakes rather. So we're going to be doing that next time. For now, we are going to be headed back to Blythe. Again, you don't need to do this. You can skip this step entirely. But going back to him and letting him know what you heard just gets you some extra dialogue. So you can tell Selen's story. And this is a good showing of, if you will leave these enemies alive, they will follow an attack. Especially the bow enemy. So make sure you take care of them first. But once you talk to him and kill the enemies so they aren't aggroed onto you, you are then free to continue on. As I said, that unlocks your ability to fight Radahn. So if you don't want to do it that way, there is a second way to unlock fighting Radahn. And you can do that while also doing Seluvis's quest. As I said, we are going to be doing everything notable for every type of build. And not all, but most of Seluvis's quest is required to get something special for certain types of builds. So we are going to be doing that now. After getting a puppet from him, you have to reload the area a few times. And so we are heading back to him to get one of those reloads. From there, we are going to get another reload by heading to Magma Worm Makar. Though this isn't just a reload, we are also doing this to get a certain specific item needed for the next step of his quest. So here, as I mentioned last time, beating Magma Worm Makar gets you access to Altus Plateau. You can also use the two halves of the Deckness Medallion, but I believe that beating Makar is the better option. So that is the way that I'm going to be showing. Here, at the top of this lift, you gain access to Altus Plateau. So this, like Limgrave, like Liurnia, like Caelid, is its own major region. So I'm not going to be doing anything here. There are some items that you can grab on the way if you want. I won't, simply for the sake of presentation. You're free to ignore the dragon, it won't chase you. From here, you can head a bit to the right where there's a set of grace. And if you went from the Dectus lift, you would just head straight forward along the main path. But heading this way, we are going to head down towards these spikes. Just stick to the left side of them. Don't go into them at all, or you will be shot. And also sticking to the left side makes this a bit easier. So once you pass those two enemies, you can head just straight east, where you should run into this golden sapling here. If you didn't, and you messed up the trajectory, then you can just pin this monument and then head south down the road until you hit it. From there, head southeast towards this giant staircase. And once you pass the yellow-orange tree, you should see a little side dirt path leading north. You want to take that into this cave-like entrance. Through here, you'll find a bunch of these small enemies, so you can kill them so they don't aggro onto you. And from there, you can pick up several sacramental buds. If you remember, those were needed to craft preserving boluses. But far more importantly, and the reason we're here, is to get the amber starlight. So from there, we can head back to Seluvis once more. So from here, you can come down and talk to him once again. You should have the option of I want a new puppet. If you don't, teleport back to Ronnie's Rise and come back and talk to him again. But from there, he tells you that he wants Starlight Shards, so choose Obtain a Puppet. And in this series so far, I've already picked up 2. As you can see, Jar White takes 3. So we can choose Seralina. From there, exit out, and then talk to him once more, and choose About the Scheme. Tell him you're interested, and he will ask for an Amber Starlight. From here, you can choose to give it to him, and he will be absolutely elated. Talk to him again to get the Magic Scorpion Charm. This is a talisman that boosts your magic damage, but lowers your physical damage negation. So as you can see, I go from 13 to 4.3. So good if you have a lot of magic damage, bad for whenever you get hit by physical damage. It's a bit of a trade-off, but increased damage is definitely worth it for some people. And again, heading into Altus Plateau allows you to fight Radon. You don't need to do Selvis's whole thing in order to unlock that. you just need to head into Altus. But from there, we are going to head into here. We can head to Eastern Tableland. And we can make our way down. Now this one is protected by a golem, but you can easily just run past it. It's no big deal. Now, just like Siofra River, you can do this as soon as you make it to Liurnia. And you can absolutely do that if you want. I just put it off until now for the sake of presentation. But upon getting to the bottom, there's once again a site of grace here. Though unlike in Siofra River, you cannot summon Torrent. So it's all on foot from here. There are a bunch of ants, so you can kill them. In here, it gets a bit dark, so you may want a lantern. And off to the right here, there's an ant that is hidden. So make sure to kill them. But here, you can go left or right. Right is the way of progress. Left is the way of goodies. So we are going to be heading down this way first. Grabbing ourselves a smithing stone 3. And then heading back to go along the other path. Once you get to here, you can once again go left or right. Going to the right gets you a site of grace. So you can get that if you want, but left is the better path to take. There, you get a smithing stone 3, and then you find this large room. You can pop that in order to get a golden rune 10 and a rune arc. And then a bunch of ants drop down from the ceiling. So you're going to want to kill all of them or run past them. Both ways work. However you do it, you can now head into this pathway. Where you will come out into the Ul Palace Ruin. Where you can take that drop down and get a smithing stone 4. Along with a celestial dew. If you took the right path, you would end up where the top of that elevator is. So you can run over there, pull that elevator down, get the site of grace if you want, but we are just going to be headed towards this giant statue. As behind it, there is a little cave that is hidden. So we are going to head into there, where you'll find this giant enemy in the distance firing rocks at us. They do that periodically, so you will need to hide. If you head over here, you can get 2 smithing stone 3. And as you can see, each individual rock doesn't do much damage, but they throw a lot of rocks. So don't be afraid to get hit by 1 or 2, but do be afraid of being caught out and being hit by a good chunk of the barrage. With that being said, there are plenty of places to just tuck yourself into a corner and avoid all of the rocks. Here, you can hide behind this pillar and then run out and attack them. Once you kill them, they do not respawn, so you don't have to worry about them again. From here, you can drop down onto this somewhat hidden floor, and then drop down again to make it into the building, where you can get the map for Ainsel River. This is what that looks like. And here you will also find a merchant. He sells a Lost Ash of War, the ability to craft Thawfrost and Stimulating Boluses. Thawfrost is for frost, Stimulating is for sleep. And he also sells the ability to craft Acid Spray Mist. This is a poisonous kind of mist that you spray in front of you, though instead of doing damage, anything that touches it has their attack lowered. You may remember Patches used this against us. He also sells the Prisoner starting class armor set. So purchase anything you want, then head out and to the right. Here, you can get 3 smithing stone 3, and in this giant room, there are some goodies, but it's mostly just stuff we've already gotten, like runes. So you can go and get all that stuff if you want, but I'm just going to grab that Site of Grace and continue on. Here, you will run into more ants, so you can take them out. Or you can get some Smithing Stone 2 and the Immunizing Horn Charm. This is a talisman that boosts your resistance to poison and scarlet rot. From there, we can continue to where there are some more ants. We can get a Ghost 2 and some more ants. Once you take them out, you are safe and free to just run all the way to the end of this tunnel cave section. All the way at the end, once you get into this giant opening and you see the colossal man in his chair, get prepared for a boss fight. Upon his death, you will get 12,000 runes, Frozen Lightning Spear, which is an incantation, but most importantly, the Great Ghost Glowwort. This allows you to upgrade a special powerful Spirit Ash to +10. At this point, we only have 1, 2, and 3, so you can't use it just yet, but once we get to that point, it is useful. So with that being said, we are going to be ending this here. We have gone through all of base Siofra River, along with Ainsel River, along with doing the start of Rannis quest, and most of Seluvis' quest, up to the point of getting Magic Scorpion Charm. So, with that being said, I hope you found this to be educational, I hope you found this to be entertaining, and with that being said, yeah.